the regular city council meeting for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll. Edwards.
Here.
Patsy-Patinos. Here. Houston. Here. Kozak. Here. Panzera.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
President Keeler. Here. Mayor Kearns. Here. Director Hale. Here. City Attorney Kuzam. Here. Director Miller. Here. All are present. Thank you. Next we have approval of proceedings for August 7th, 2023. Is there any discussion or amendments?
Yes, I have a correction. On the, towards the end, the second to last page at the very bottom, it was talking about the, Fortuna Bank. It says the business will be deposits and bonds, and instead of bonds, it should be loan products. That's all, thank you.
Got it. Is that a motion to amend?
Motion to amend.
Thank you. Second. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Clerk, please call roll. Or sorry, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Proceedings have been approved. Next, we have oath of office for Deputy Chief Greg Gillespie. Please come forward.
Big night for the police department. We have two well-deserved promotions on deck. First is Sergeant Greg Gillespie. You have someone who you want to hold the Bible for you? I do. You have some guests here? I do.
Color coordinated, I'm so impressed.
However you want to do it. I'll just stand up here. All right, you've been through this before. Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Greg Gillespie,
I, Greg Gillespie,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
solemnly swear to, protect,
Let me say it again.
Yeah,
Solemnly
sorry.
swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Grandview Heights,
the Charter and ordinance of the City of Grandview Heights,
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties as a Deputy Police Chief
discharge the duties of Deputy Police Chief
for the City of Grandview Heights
for the City of Grandview Heights,
in Franklin County, Ohio.
Franklin County, Ohio.
Congratulations. Chief, do you have a few words to say about Sergeant, now Deputy Chief Gillespie?
Oh, do I? Deputy Chief Gillespie and I pretty much started around the same time. He was actually here before me as a dispatcher. So he has spent more than 2 decades with the City of Grandview Heights, devoting all the years of service to the residents here. He's done an outstanding job. He's pretty much done every position that you could think of with the city and with the division here. So we're very happy to have him, and it would be great if his kids could pin the Leafs on his shoulder. Would you like to do that? Yep.
Congratulations.
You, Assistant Chief Colony, will sign off on it, make it legal, and
Okay.
Do you have someone here to hold the Bible for you? Special person? Left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I, Nicholas Hart,
I, Nicholas Hart,
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Grandview Heights,
the Charter and ordinances of the City of Grandview Heights,
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
and will faithfully, honestly, and impartially
discharge the duties as a police sergeant
discharge the duties as a police sergeant
for the City of Grandview Heights
for the City of Grandview Heights
in Franklin County, Ohio.
in Franklin County, Ohio.
Congratulations. Chief, do you have something to say about Sergeant Hart here?
So Sergeant Hart hasn't been with us as long as Deputy Chief Gillespie, but his experience is nearly as long. With the city of Lima, he came to us as one of our first lateral transfers and has definitely exceeded our expectations for that program. He was a sergeant previously with the city of Lima, so he should transition into his new role here quite well. And we're very excited to have him in this role. So, congratulations.
Well, congratulations to both our new swearing-ins, Sergeant Hart and Deputy Chief Gillespie. We're so happy you're here and continue to welcome to Grand Heights, I guess. Next, we have comments from visitors. I have two forms at this time. First of all, we have Rob Kramer, 5600 Jefferson Road. If you could come up to the podium. We ask our members or public to keep their comments to around 3 minutes. And this lovely new device, we have 45 seconds left. It will flash yellow, give you a beep, and then when you're out of time, it will flash red.
I'll be done in 15 seconds.
Perfect. All right.
Rob Brown here, really just to thank you for what the work you've done on tobacco issues, and especially Anthony, especially in Councilmember Panzera, the work you have made this model ordinance one that I will take across the country. It's so tightly written, so wonderfully organized, so thoughtful in its whole approach. So thank you very much. I've been to hundreds of city council meetings. I frankly don't know how you do it. It's a thankless job, at least. Let me thank you tonight.
All right, thank you very much. We appreciate you coming tonight. All right, next we have Mr. Steve Reynolds of 1070 Virginia Avenue. If you could please come to the podium. And again, the device will give you your time. Yeah. All right, are you ready, Leland?
I'm ready. Good evening. By this time next week, the city will have closed the Northwest Boulevard median and Virginia Avenue, a closure which very well could become permanent. The course of action is so flawed that for so many reasons, 3 minutes I have allotted to me barely allows me to scratch the surface. Undoubtedly, attention should be given to the intersection, especially after the tragic fatal accident that occurred there roughly 2 years ago. Unfortunately, the solution that has been selected creates even more safety hazards, both for traffic and for residents in my neighborhood. Closing that route will force traffic to redirect either to the east or to the west. Detouring to the east means more traffic going by Stevenson Elementary. Clearly, that should not be acceptable. Traffic diverting to the west will most likely use Hope Avenue. Anyone who has seen the intersection of Hope and Northwest/3rd Avenue knows what a horrendous mess that already is. Somewhat surprisingly, the city stated in this room on April 18th that since that intersection is in Columbus, that really isn't a problem for them to deal with. Not only will closing the median at Northwest and Virginia create unwanted and apparently unanticipated traffic hazards, it also reduces safety for residents in my immediate neighborhood by increasing the response time when Station 25 is backing up Station 51. I've ridden along with Grandview often enough to know that a 20-ton fire engine does not drive the same way that an automobile does. It's highly implausible to believe that Engine 25 or Medic 25 can maneuver through the sharp turns in the same time that it would take to just cross Northwest of Virginia. Not even to mention that yet again, they're passing through a school zone at Stevenson. Response to fire or medic runs that takes Station 25 just 1 minute more can have a substantial negative impact on the outcome. A fire can literally double in size in 30 seconds to a minute. For a life-threatening medical emergency, 1 minute truly means all the difference. I urge council to stand up as an equal, autonomous branch of our local government and work with the administration to find a safe and sensible solution, one which ideally incorporates the comments of residents who took the time to participate in the April 18th meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds. We appreciate those comments. All right, clerk, we have a few online submittals. If you could please read those, the names and the subjects of the record.
The first is from Craig Berlin, 1020 West 2nd Avenue, and his subject is parking because of Ronan Gym. The second is from Susan Kukla, 1010 West 2nd Avenue. The subject is permit parking for residents.
Thank you. We will attach those to the meeting agenda minutes, and those will become part of the record. Next, we have Mr. Darius Blackford with Columbus Marathon.
Hello, Mayor and Council. Even though I'm here to talk about the Columbus Marathon, my comments will be brief. So, I worked on that. So, I'm Darius Blackford, race director of Nationwide Children's Hospital, Columbus Marathon and Half Marathon. The race this year is October 15th, which is less than 6 weeks away. It's our 43rd year, and we officially sold the marathon out today. I'm very thankful. So we will be bringing about 4,000 temporary residents through the city on October 15th. And I'm very proud to say, the 12th year of our partnership with Nationwide Children's Hospital. We will go over $13 million in those 12 years after this year's event. So I'm very, very, very blessed and thankful for the support that we get from our athletes as well as the community. The first wheelchair will be coming through here around 8:45 up on coming down Grandview Avenue. And the last walker should leave the city limits around 1:30 on October 15th. So in the meantime, we're so blessed to have such great support from Grandview Heights residents. We have a wonderful water stop on First Avenue. We've got something really neat this year up at the corner of First Avenue and Grandview Boulevard. We have an artist who's actually going to be painting live the runners as they come. She created our medals last year. She's a teacher here in Worthington, art teacher. But it's going to be really neat how she's going to capture this with her painting in the time frame of the event. So I'm also very honored that the chief is here, and I was actually commenting that I've been working with him. He was before he was chief, but I'm very, very honored that we have paid our bill. So already more than $10,000 that it costs in police costs and traffic costs. But the reason we're very thankful to Grandview Heights is because of the fact that you have the longest time frame outside the city of Columbus that your streets are affected. And that's why the bill is costly, but well worth it for the police costs and traffic costs. Bexley doesn't even know we come through. They're still asleep. So, but here in Grandview Heights, you've been always great to us, and it just means the world. So thank you. I just wanted to come out and say thanks.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions? Anybody doing the event this year? We still have some spots in the half marathon.
Well, I might have to sign up for the half marathon then.
We love walkers too, so
Yeah.
running and walking. So, but again, sincerely thank you for the support, and If you have questions, you can reach out to me, info@columbusmarathon.com, and thank you.
Any questions?
I think I have a question.
Yes?
I was wondering, do you offer, because I think in the past I've looked volunteer, but haven't always been able to do, I think it might be like a 6-hour window. I don't remember now, I don't know how involved you are with those volunteers.
No, so volunteering, very easy. We actually have a new volunteer platform. If you just go to our website, columbusmarathon.com, volunteer.
Okay.
It's not just for openings and opportunities here at Grandview Heights. We actually have them, everything from our health and fitness expo to we have a 5K on Saturday downtown Columbus. There's a variety. So it's really nice because there's a whole listing. You can just pick and choose what you'd like.
Okay.
And, yeah, it'll be cool. And it takes about 3,000 people to put the event on in terms of volunteers. So we would love all the help we can get.
Thank you.
So you get a really nice volunteer shirt too, which is pretty cool.
Very good. Any other questions?
Thank you all so
Thank you.
much.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
We appreciate you coming tonight.
You're
We
very
look
welcome.
forward to seeing
Thank
you in
you.
October.
Thank you.
All right. Next, department head reports, fire and police. Would anyone like to go first? Chief? All right.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. Please start.
Most of my report has happened in the past 15 to 20 minutes, but I will be glad to answer any questions that anybody would have for me.
Are there any questions for the chief? No? All right. Well, thank you for coming and congratulations to your new appointees.
Thank you very much, and I will say, on top of the Columbus Marathon, we actually have one of our officers running in it this year.
Oh, that's
So that's a first that since I've been here, where we've had somebody participating internally. So good luck to her, and wish her all the best.
amazing. Thank you. All right. Chief. Chief and chief.
Good evening. I just want to start off by the things we witnessed tonight, and your support for public safety has been demonstrated over and over again. What you're doing, from supporting the building to our staffing to all the growth that we need, it really is helping us create a mission that serves the public. It really, really benefits the public. So I just wanted to take a moment. Thank you for what you've done for law enforcement. Thank you for what you've done for the fire division and for the city, but it really isn't going unrecognized what's going on in Grandview. We really do have a mission that's unlike any other department in Central Ohio. Some of the things that's going on in the fire service, we've been really, really busy. If I take the last 30 days, we've had 60 runs of increase from this time, the last 30 days from last year. So we're doing really, really good. To balance that with our increased staffing allowed us to do, we've had to call mutual aid in 32 fewer times than before. So that's a direct impact to our community. They're getting our resources, our people, our apparatus. 32 fewer times have we had to rely on somebody else for service. That's a really big deal. The other big thing I kind of want to brag on is we've got some members taking some really substantial training. One of my goals when I started here is I really wanted to build up the internal ranks, give them the ability to go out, learn, see what's going on in the community, better themselves, but just as important, bring that back in and train us and go over what they've learned. So we've got Chief Beckett that's going to the new Chiefs Symposium with the Ohio Fire Chiefs. He's also going to a Hazard Zone Conference in Cincinnati, where the topics are, when the worst of the worst happens on the fire ground. He's giving tools, he's learning, he's listening to other leaders on their experiences and helping us prepare for that not to happen here. And if it does happen here, we'll have the tools and the training to get through it. Captain Bucelato has gone out and got his fire service instructor class, which is a big deal. As a company officer, that's one of the big things you do, is you pass on knowledge, you teach your crew. So we're very proud of him for that. Samantha Brown is going out and she took her investigator class. So she thinks she might have some interest in being a future fire marshal down the road. So a job like that takes years and years of experience. So Samantha's very young in her career, but it's really good if she's got that interest that we can exploit that right now, get her into these classes, then she can work into to her interest as it grows. Other than that's really all I have, the big things. I'm happy to take any questions, but it's a really good time to be in Grandview.
Are there any questions for the chief?
Thank you.
Councilmember Lozette.
I was at the baseball game, softball game, police v. fire, and I wondered, there was someone who got injured,
Mm-hmm.
and is that, I don't know who the person was, is that her, Samantha?
Mhm.
And is she, and I never heard what happened afterwards, but I think they took her, that she had to go to the hospital.
We did, everything turned out really good. If you were there and you heard the sound that made,
Yes.
I mean, I think all our hearts dropped and we thought the worst. It turned out it was literally just a bruise. She did have to get a few stitches from a cut, but all in all, I think she was back to work the next day with a bandage on her arm, so thank goodness. So we learned a lot, it was really fun, we were all excited, but it was a fun night. It was very unfortunate that happened, but had a great outcome.
And congratulations.
If I may, I want to
Yes.
thank the fire department, though I don't think we have any marathoners. We do have some fantastic athletes, and we had record participation of, actually their children in the try this year, which was just wonderful. So thank you for modeling that for the community.
And the one question I asked them was, did they have a good time? And all of the kids, none of their parents made them do it. The kids had a great time. Assistant Chief Beckett's daughter was in there, I think right on the bike part of it. I think her chain came off, so that bummed her out a little bit. But, it goes from our internal membership. Captain Jason Kay did a full Ironman in Lake Placid last month. I mean, the full Ironman. So, that part just is a testament, and we pass it on to the kids, but it's a great event. Thanks for saying that.
Any other comment? Thank you.
I would just say, Beckett got his pie for his graduation.
Yes, he did.
And I would love, if anyone else completes anything significant, please let me know, and I would be more than happy.
Absolutely will. That'd be kind of a cool tradition,
Yes.
as long as they share.
I mean, I can't make
They're
them
not always
share.
great sharers when it comes to the homemade bacon. No, I think that's a cool thing.
But I'm more than happy to help them recognize their efforts in a fun homemade way. So,
We'll keep you in the loop.
all right, very nice. Any other questions? No?
We're here if you need us. Thank you.
All right, thank you very
Thank you.
much. All right, moving on, council committee reports, finance.
No meeting, no report, although I would like to recognize and congratulate our outstanding finance department director for yet another award, the State Auditor Award distinction for the audit. We're continuing a tradition of bringing in these awards.
Yes, right, that can be our building materials for the new finance office. So, that'll be good. They're wood and metal, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. We're all very proud of what you do, but also thank you for making sure the city's doing well. Planning administration,
No meeting, no report.
recreation services and public facilities,
No meeting, no report.
safety,
We had a meeting before this, and we'll review that in our ordinance. So,
thank you, economic development.
No meeting, no report.
All right, Grandview Library.
the library, I just have a couple of things. Thursday, September 14th, from 6:30 to 7:30, outside of the lawn, the Bring the Farm to You business will be there and have a variety of animals for people to engage with. And the American Red Cross will be hosting a blood drive at the library on Wednesday, September 27th, from 12 to 6. You can call 1-800-RED-CROSS to sign up. And then the 9th annual chocolate walk to benefit the Library Foundation will be held Thursday, October 5th, from 6 to 8 p.m. And you can buy tickets on the library's website, but they are a limited supply. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Next we have schools. Welcome back to everyone. There's an update regarding facilities. Moving forward with trying to decide how to update RLS. I would encourage you all to go to their website to find out more. Next we have the chamber.
Yes, the Tri-Village Chamber has their monthly luncheon on Thursday, September 14th at 11:30. The subject is concierge medicine, and that's led by Dr. Catherine Sinclair of Roots and Wings Pediatrics.
Thank you. Planning commission.
Planning Commission met and reviewed one application. It was a revised site plan for the library. I'll defer to Director Felker for any fine details on that, but it was relatively straightforward, minor modifications and and proceeding accordingly.
Thank you, Dakota.
No report.
Part C, August was a non-meeting month, so I will report more in September after we did. Destination Grandview.
Yes, they held a meeting August 11th. Some items to note. Destination Grandview is well aware, hotel business isn't quite where we would all like it to be. The anticipation is that any increase in business is gonna come from business, more so than leisure demand. I think the hotels, it sounds like, are planning on increasing rates, and so any type of increase in revenue is gonna come from rate increase versus increase in traffic or bookings. But fun stuff, Brian Cheek has completed a new brochure that goes to the hotels and things to do in Grandview. It's a nice piece of literature that highlights some restaurants, parks, Grandview Avenue. Also touched on a lot of the other fun things that have happened in Grandview in August and over the summer with the hops, the half quarter marathon, and restaurant week workers or something like that.
Thank you. Sustainable 2050.
Yes, there was no meeting last month. Those meetings are quarterly. The next one will be on September 28th.
Thank you. Mayor's report.
Thank you. Traffic reminders, Northwestern Virginia is indeed partially closing, essentially be right only, starting September 11th. There's a page on Growing Together, you can go there for more information. Second one is that Fairview Avenue is fully open, it's functioning well, thanks to the PD for controlling traffic. The signal heads are delayed, but we should have temporary set mid-September. Mosquitoes are very heavy with West Nile this year. We've sprayed, meaning the county sprayed repeatedly as a result, and would not be surprised if that happens again. We're keeping the public informed through 311. Still some community events. We've had obviously a successful Try the Heights on Saturday, thanks to those who volunteer, thanks to staff who work with us on holiday weekend. Tonight wraps up a successful pool season with the dogs. Ox roast Thursday through Saturday, one more Grandview Pop last Saturday in September, and the Parks and Rec Community Guide is online, was sent to residents, it's out here in the lobby. Many programs coming, nice rendering of the facility on the front, which has really built some excitement among our residents. And speaking of that, the groundbreaking ceremony, as you all know, is September 12th at 4 p.m. All electeds, all department heads will have a shuttle. Hope to see you all there. We're preparing some brief remarks, and invitations have been sent out, and then a general public invitation will be going out probably tomorrow. That's what I got.
Any questions for the mayor? I just want to say.
Oh, clarifying question.
Yeah.
Is it groundbreaking like sharp at 4? Is there a little bit of like activity, network, or conversation before and then a groundbreaking?
It's a short event, so
Okay.
if you can't make it right at 4, you might miss it. There's a few words
Okay,
that will be
that's what I wanted to
said.
clarify. Okay.
If you
Try to
keep us
shuttle.
posted on your arrival, we can
Okay.
try to get you there for the actual groundbreaking.
Okay.
And it'll be staged down here. We'll have some refreshments, very light refreshments in this room. Also kind of similar to the open house, we'll have hearings and information in here for people that come mingle afterwards. But it'll be a short event as well.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
We do plan to do a more extensive road cutting for Parks and Rec, which might end up being a very large community event, but that we plan to put out here.
And can I ask that, the groundbreaking is for both buildings?
Yes.
It's here, and then the shuttle you mentioned to be going over there.
No shuttle, but this is the events here, both functions, we can. Okay.
So we won't be going to that site?
Right.
Any other questions? I just want to say, I am so excited for Go Yoga tomorrow. I cannot wait. Go Yoga. I don't know how they're going to keep those goats contained, but I'm so excited. So,
Good for mental health.
I mean, maybe goats, how can you not love them? All right, Director of Administration, sorry, that's a hard one to follow.
I don't know how I'll top it, but I will try. 2 things. The foodway site, as we know, 1525 will be part of the construction. It's
so we are going to be moving those containers. They will be moved not far from where they're located currently, next to the finance department. They will be moving to Douglas, which will be communicating out. So just know that that will be coming in the next week or two. And also, we are working on a pumpkin toss for this year, so more information to come, but we will be doing that again. We had roughly 8,000 pounds of pumpkins that were diverted from the landfill last year, so looking forward, every year we've increased it a bit, so looking forward to doing that again, and we are going to lengthen that this year, so we'll go from, last year we did it about 2 weeks, this year we plan to go from the end of October to the 1st of December. So we'll allow everyone to keep their pumpkins through Thanksgiving if you wish.
So I have a question. This is a separate collection site than the composting, or is it?
It is. Details still being worked out, likely because of us moving it to Douglas, we will have a separate location, but we are working with the compost exchange on what that looks like, but we will have that finalized within the next few weeks. So 1st of October, I should have that too.
Questions? All right. Thank you. Director of Finance?
I had a lot in my report this month. The highlights are income tax continues to be about 5% below where I would like it to be at this time. And refunds continue to be high, and we believe that it's because employers were withholding and now people are coming back and asking for refunds when they were working from home or working in an area that didn't have an income tax. Property values from the county auditor, estimates went out to all the residents. The city's not involved in that, so if anybody has questions, they need to go to the county auditor with those. I had some information in here about supplemental appropriations, which we'll go through later. And the Turk met this month, so we'll have a resolution for council mid-month to approve the Turk recommendations.
I do have a question. With the new office space that's being created nationwide, there was a
Quick Insured.
yes.
Yes.
Do we know what kind of revenue that business will be bringing to help supplement some of these deficits?
We do not. How many square feet were they gonna be? 22,000 or 13,000? No, we do not know right now.
We actually just had a conversation with them today. They're still kind of clarifying the details of the incentive, and so we don't have all the information back from them yet.
So they're requesting incentives, but they have not requested an official incentive yet?
They have not requested their incentive to start yet. We're working on the, I think it's new to them as a program. And so they're asking a lot of questions about how it works.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much. Director of Planning, Director Coker.
Yeah, so buildings all the time right now. A lot of details to get, kind of bring everything to fruition here. But they are coming. We have, nearly have a permit for the Parks and Rec building. Kind of mid-bid on that project. We will be getting a first GMP package figured out in the next week or so, and then the following one in the next month or so. So that's going to be starting construction before you know it. Construction fence should be going up. We've been working with the Parks Department and Fire and Police to get the site utilization plan to work well and be minimally impactful both for the park site as well as for this site. Of note in that regard in terms of site use at McKinley, the construction fence will really be just this end, about a third of the parking lot. There'll be a curb cut access right off of Goodale into their construction access area, so the public's normal access to the parking area will be maintained, and they'll have about 2/3 of that parking will remain during construction over there. It's very tight. The construction area is very tight to that building, so it should impact the park minimally, even though it is a construction project. You should be able to get in there and play at the playground and go to the ball field and all that stuff. This project here, I haven't seen the final site utilization plan, but the anticipation is that the little piece of Douglas down here will be closed between Grandview Avenue and Glendale to try to minimize the amount of traffic, try to get through there. It'll also provide a little bit more laydown space for construction. And then we'll be able to park folks along Glendale, so easy access to the building. Just a good note, if you will, I have been hearing from various different places that both labor and material availability is moderating, so I think we're actually hitting the bidding climate relatively well, actually better than it would have been 6 months ago. It's good news, and I hope it plays out in the information that we get back. I would really like to thank everybody who's been super helpful in terms of getting all the details buttoned up in the project. So I think we have high probability of getting really great result everywhere. In terms of, and if you have any questions on the buildings, how to answer those, just I'll mention one other regional tidbit. I have been working on the technical working group for Link Us, which has been working on figuring out, so part of CODA's push for a 0.5% sales tax increase that they're planning to put on the ballot next year would go to fund, obviously some of it is for the bus rapid transit system they are putting in place, and a good chunk of it would be for horizontal or vertical connections to those main lines. So in our case, horizontal connections, for instance, on First, Third, Goodale, and all up through there. It's a substantive amount of money annually for Central Ohio, for the served area. Is going to be $60 million new dollars for transit supported infrastructure for things such as bypass greenways, sidewalks, and things that facilitate all of those things. So they have gotten the first piece of that figured out now and formalized a committee so that if that levy is, or not levy, but if the ballot measure next year would be successful, the program would be able to be up and running more or less right away in terms of how to receive ideas for the projects that might need to be or want to be implemented and how to get that money out. So it's a really great program personally, and hopefully it's successful next year. And President Keeler is also serving on the committee going forward. Great.
Yeah. I just got appointed though, so I haven't been in any meetings yet. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm so excited. It's going to be so fun. All right. Are there any questions for the director? Councilmember Kozak.
Was wondering about the solar panels. I saw that you had mentioned that there might be an update.
Yeah, we do have an update. We've been working with Kokosin Solar, who's one of the go-to vendors for solar systems in Central Ohio. And preliminary information that we've gotten from them looks really positive to be able to include solar for our carport canopies. We are pursuing that in terms of a construction strategy, which is to say basically the carport canopies become integral to the solar panels that will be on top of them, and as a result of that strategy would be eligible to get 30% of the cost refunded, I'm not sure, granted through the program, the federal program it's out right now. So we're pursuing that grant funding as well, which will be around $100,000, something like that.
And is that, those are ones we'd be purchasing, or those were the last time you mentioned leasing?
We would own them, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then also you're still looking at rooftop solar as well?
We're having that, we're designing both things as what they call ad alternates so that we can get discrete pricing for them. The carports look more optimistic than the rooftop solar for a lot of different reasons, and I can share those more if you'd like, but it's looking more likely that we'll be able to get the carports than the rooftop, at least day one, but the infrastructure will be there for the building to be able to support rooftop solar at any point in the future.
Okay, thank you. And I have one other question, because you mentioned in your report about the parking concerns in the northeast quadrant. And there were those two residents that you read in the comments for, and then one of them had written back to me last week, and they still had problems. She had sent a photo of a car that was parked, like, right, I think it might be at Norton and Second, and that it was a person from the Roman gym. And I just wondered if you had had a chance to talk with that business.
I did talk with the business, and they are proactive about their parking. It's not that they have everything solved, but they have and are continuing to look at ways to provide leased parking spaces to expand the amount of parking that's dedicated to their users. However, the folks who go to any establishment can park anywhere where there's open street parking. So there's efforts on behalf of the business, I would say, but it also is a behavior, issue as well, with where folks choose to park and for how long they choose to park, and public parking.
And there are signs there. I didn't realize that. Those side streets, I just went and drove around there last week, but like Norton and Parkway and maybe Holly, a couple of them, and the signs say 2-hour parking from between like 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. And that resident told me that when she's called the police before, they said that they can't enforce that. They don't enforce that because they don't have people who would be sitting there watching to see if someone was there for 2 hours. So I was just surprised by that. I think there are some of those signs down on Timberman too. It just seems odd that I know that was from a while back, but I wasn't sure if it was ever enforced or how it came up with the 2-hour window.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Director Hale might have more information about that, or your friends.
I don't,
Okay.
nothing recent. I had no information recently, but, I think the resident said the 2-hour limitation was not what was being violated, it was the time of day that they were involved.
But they were, yeah, they were in the evening, right, and I think they wanted a resident-only, like signs that would say residents, and then they want passes that the people from the businesses can't park there. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions for the director? Yes, Councilmember
Just a
Smith.
comment. I wanted to take a moment as we approach the groundbreaking ceremony in mid-month, that from my perspective as facilities chair, the amount of effort and the excruciating detail that's gone into the design of the municipal building has been just beyond impressive. There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of moving parts taking place in and around that building. And there will still be challenges as to how it operates, and there will still be challenges as to how we complete some of the things that are still a little tiny bit gray and cloudy. But overall, considering the budget that was implemented and the different number of functions that structure is going to accommodate, and all of the department heads highly involved in their spaces, the interactivities between those departments, the connections between those departments, and the thoughtfulness that's gone into that entire design has been just really remarkable. So I just want to take a moment and thank Director Kolker and thank Council as well for all of your individual involvement, and of course the mayor. So.
I would actually, if I may, just to comment, if you notice what Director Kelker said about the site over at McKinley being maintained, actually 2/3 of the parking lot's being maintained, and the entire playground. In fact, it was one piece of equipment was moved so that we could maintain the entire playground, as well as an excruciating process to site the building so that we could maximize the tree canopy. I mean, this, believe me when I say this was excruciating. In a good way. I think we got to the best result we possibly can. This is for the community. So I'm very pleased with how it came out for the community use during a period of it's a park that's well utilized and cross-utilized, and during the period of time when it's under construction, I think we did the best we could to keep it as much online as possible. Thank you, Director.
We all thank you.
It's been really fun, and honestly, it's incredible to see the collaboration between everybody. I don't know that every organization, well, I will say, I don't think every organization has that by any stretch.
I agree with you.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you. Moving on to old business item number 1.
City attorney.
What? Oh, sorry. Joelle, your amazing legal report, please give it to us.
I've submitted my report to you and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the director? My apologies. It's amazing as always. All right, old business item number 1.
Ordinance 2023-22, an ordinance to amend and enact the codified ordinances of the city of Grandview Heights, Ohio, to ban the sale of flavored tobacco products and to create a tobacco retail licensing program.
Thank you. Chair Kozak, your committee met.
Yes, we met and we have quite a few amendments to this. And we did vote to go and take a vote on it tonight, but first we'll need to go
ahead and move to substitute to that motion?
Sure.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but I meant to request to the president.
Thank you. Is this what was in the safety committee packet?
Yes.
Yes,
That's a motion.
yes, thank
Is
you.
there a second?
Second.
That's a motion to substitute. Clerk, please call the roll.
Edwards.
Yes.
Constantinos.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Kozak.
Yes.
Panzera.
Yes,
Smith.
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes.
Ordinance 2023-22 has been substituted to version 0905-2023.
So the principal changes in the substituted version prior to the amendments that we're gonna make right now were to reflect that there are 4 existing businesses to be grandfathered in, not 3. And then there were also some other sort of clarification and kind of aligning different parts together, questions that were raised at the prior meeting, and those changes were all incorporated. And there was further discussion at the committee meeting, so I'll address the edits that are to be made to the substituted version, starting with section 523.01, letter T, the definition of tobacco or tobacco product. And there was discussion about what the effect of synthetic nicotine would be. So we would like to suggest the following change. After the first full sentence, so before the words, the term also includes an electronic smoking device, we would propose inserting, for purposes of this ordinance, this shall also include synthetic nicotine. And then the next change would be in section 523.06.
Wait, hold on a second there.
Yeah.
Are there any questions for people who are not here at the meeting? Yeah, okay. Sure.
523.06, under letter J. And I apologize for the number pages, but it starts with the department shall provide the license and notice upon approval of renewal. In that particular instance, we're gonna go ahead and include the full name, so it'll say the Franklin County Public Health Department shall provide the license and notice.
Is there any issue with that the ordinance that they are no longer able to work in the future?
If for some reason we didn't have a contract with them, we would need to amend the ordinance.
not because of that line.
What's that?
I said not exclusively because of that line.
Yes, correct, only because later in 523.0, we call them out as the department. The next change is under 523.10, license required, letter D, license fee. So about halfway through that paragraph, there is reference to the license term is 1 calendar year beginning on March 1. And then that March 1 date appears 3 times within that paragraph. And we would propose to change that to January 1. And then correspondingly, in the very last sentence where there's reference to February, that should be changed to December of the prior year.
And just to clarify, that is the kind of in concert with what the county desires for their calendar year.
So, Ms. Hale was able to check with the county immediately before this meeting and confirm that we can do a January to December renewal year, which would alleviate the concern about, not being able to purchase comes in partway through the year. One thing that I also failed to call out is that in the ordinance itself, we propose to change the ordinance effective date to January 1, 2024, again, to give retailers who are currently doing business time to
ordinance takes effect. The next change would be about 4 paragraphs lower in G1. Same thing, all the references to March 1, there are 3 of them in that paragraph, would be changed to January 1. And let's see here, the next change is on the following page, under big letter D, which starts, if the city determines that a tobacco retailer has substantially changed its business. I'm gonna read the whole thing with the change, and I'll just call out where the change is. If the city determines that a tobacco retailer has substantially changed its business premises or operation, and a tobacco retailer disputes this determination, the tobacco retailer, insert the word shall, and then strike out the S in bears, so the retailer shall bear the burden of proving by a preponderance of the evidence, insert to the department, that such changes do not constitute a substantial change. And then the exact same change would appear in the very last paragraph on this page, which is under letter J3, big E.
Director, could you read that one over again?
Sure.
Out loud, so I can hear it. Thank
If
you.
the city determines that a tobacco retailer has substantially changed business premises or operation, and the tobacco retailer disputes this determination, the tobacco retailer, insert shall, bear, cross out the S, the burden of proving by a preponderance of the evidence to the department, insert to the department, that such changes do not constitute a substantial change.
Okay, is that, that's just sort of strengthening the language, clarifying for those two?
Just giving the authority to the department so that the challenger doesn't come to the city with their concern about
Okay,
the city's determination.
thank you.
The next change would be on the following page under,
Should you go to that subsection?
yes,
You did go.
just did that one.
Okay, it's the
Yeah,
same.
it's the same,
Okay,
same
okay,
exact
gotcha,
wording,
gotcha.
yep. K7, little k, number 7. So, 2 edits there. The first is the brackets that are around the 1,000 feet can be stricken. I don't know why they didn't come out in the red line. And then the second change, and we did not discuss this one in committee, Mr. Panzera brought it up just during our little break, so hopefully this is good with everybody. The last sentence, this restriction does not apply to an existing license holder that holds a current state tax license for the sale of tobacco products. Strike out in that same location for at least 1 year before. And then it would say the, insert effective leave date of this ordinance, and strike out this section was enacted into law. So it should, I apologize, I missed 2 words, as of the effective date of this ordinance.
So can you read
Yeah.
the sentence?
This restriction does not apply to an existing license holder that creates, or I'm sorry, that holds a current state tax license for the sale of tobacco products as of the effective date of this ordinance. Sure. On the next page in number 2, close to the top, the last word in the first line is distributed with a D on the end. On the next page, 523.14, we'll strike that entire section having to do with tobacco vending machines.
and therefore renumber the next section, which is currently 523.15, and make that 523.14. And I believe that's everything.
Director Zach, does that sound right for all the edits?
Yes, that's what I thought.
Thank you. Sponsor Kinsler, does that sound right to you as well?
Those are changes that I have, yes.
Thank you. Is there any discussion?
I would take a moment. I've given a little mini speech about this in previous meetings. Like to extend a very gracious thank you to Dr. Crane for his tireless efforts in the, I guess, the reduction, mitigation, hopeful prevention of tobacco use in the future, or in this case at least trying to mitigate and curb youth tobacco use, which we know by data is the case with 90% of those that consider themselves adult tobacco users. That is that they have begun that habit in their youth. So I don't look at this nor any of the other single things that we've done over the past 20 years to move to a more healthy society in regards to tobacco use and clean air, clean smoke-free air. However, these are things that are generational and will have a longer lasting effect. One of the things that I like to bring up to those that are younger than us is that, 25 years ago, if you were in line at the bank, you were very likely in a secondhand smoke environment. Some of us were in a dentist's office waiting room with an ashtray next to us as a youth. So I look forward to this being a nice model representative of legislation that hopefully is enacted in more communities, more surrounding municipalities throughout the state. And I think Dr. Crane dedicated this evening that he'd like to take this national, which would be remarkable. So I'd like to thank my council colleagues as well for their support. And with that, I'd like to move to approve the amendments, to move to amend as described by the city attorney just moments ago.
Thank you. That's a motion to amend.
Second.
Motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll on amendments.
Espastinos,
Yes.
Houston,
Yes.
Kozak,
Yes.
Panzera,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes.
The substitute version of ordinance 2023-22 has been amended.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Houston,
Yes.
Kozak,
Yes.
Panzera,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Espastinos,
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes.
The amended version of the substitute ordinance 2023-22 has been approved.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Crane, thank you for coming this evening and staying for quite some time. We appreciate it.
See,
All right.
so soon.
We're just getting started with this one here, so. New business, item number 1.
Resolution 23-2023, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Franklin County Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Thank you. Director Miller, do you have anything?
This is the annual certification of the amounts and rates as determined by the county. We have to do this, we have to approve this by October if we would like to collect property taxes next year. The amounts and rates that they sent, I included it in my report, and it's before any of the increases in value. So we'll get an update in probably January with the increases in value, and that only impacts our unvoted levies.
Thank you. I don't know. Why would we?
I strongly encourage you to
Move to approve.
the amounts and rates.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Clerk, please call the roll.
Kozak,
Yes.
Panzera,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Edwards,
Yes.
Espastinos,
Yes.
Houston. Yes. President Keeler.
Yes.
Resolution 23-2023 has been approved.
Thank you. New item number 2.
Resolution 24-2023, a resolution recognizing September 2023 as the National Suicide Prevention Month in the city of Grandview Heights.
Thank you. I very strongly feel to remember National Suicide Month every year, having lost a dear friend to suicide. I know there are others here who have also lost loved ones to suicide, so recognizing this and the resources that are available, I strongly feel are important. Because we're not recognizing this to an actual person, it has been moved to our regular business as opposed to a recognition resolution. But it is still a resolution, and does anyone have any further discussion? Yes, right?
In this third whereas, is it, that average, is it per day? It's written here and it says an average of 49.449 people died by suicide.
I think it's probably intended to be 49,000.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, sorry, that's a period.
An average though,
Yeah.
over 1 year.
Oh, sorry.
So I think that's actually
By day.
precise. Okay. We can look it up really quick.
Hold on.
Where is it, Michelle?
On the third
Third one.
whereas,
It's a comma, should be a comma.
but that's
So then it's not an
8,000
average.
It should say estimated.
Is that what your research suggests?
That's what my research suggests.
Move to amend to say estimated of 49, 449 people in the second whereas, and approve.
So that was reasonably
Motion
precise.
second, clerk, please call the roll.
Azera.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Yes.
Edwards. Constantino.
Yes.
Houston.
Yes.
Kozak.
Yes.
President Keeler.
Yes.
Resolution 24-2023 has been approved as amended.
Thank you. I would also just state, and remind everyone, the national hotline, we have our 911 for emergencies, we now have the 988 mental health emergency hotline, so please share that and make sure people know that number, so they're able to receive help. Thank you, everyone. Moving on to new business item number 3.
Would you like to entertain a motion to approve? Three minutes.
I move to amend and
Very well, thank you, sir.
new business item number 3, please.
Ordinance 2023-23, an ordinance to amend codified ordinance 161.02 of the city of Grandview Heights, Ohio, to reflect increased public works bidding levels authorized by state law.
Mayor Kern?
The state has increased the public bidding threshold, costs go up. Increasing this kind of states what is desirable to enable us to make quick decisions on smaller projects.
Thank you.
50 to 75,000.
So this is just updating to reflect higher price code. Is there any discussion? All right, we will record that as first reading. Well, first of all, is there a timeline that you need to have? No.
It won't take effect until October.
All right, we will record that as a first reading, and I will not sign that. Moving on to new business item number 4.
Ordinance 2023-24, an ordinance to approve supplemental appropriations for the city of Grandview Heights for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2023.
Thank you, Mayor Kern or Director Miller.
This is actually a net positive as far as the operations budget. The additional cost is, as stated stated by the Director of Finance, is due to refunds for income tax. With the spreadsheet, we can go over the committee, but we've got a hefty refund increase. We've put it at an amount that we think will cover, adequately the rest of the year and not have to come back.
Thank you. Is there any questions, discussion? All right, we will assign that as finance and record that as the first reading. New business item number 5.
Ordinance 2023-25, an ordinance to dedicate approximately 0 or 0 acres of real property along the eastern edge of parcel 030-000-281, owned by the city of Grandview Heights, to public right-of-way for purpose of facilitating improvements to Glendale Avenue related to the construction of the city's new fire, EMS, police, and administrative services facility, and declaring it an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor Kern. Director Holker, would you like to make comments?
Thank you. I'll start. If you look at the diagram, it's easier to understand. Glendale, right now has public parking heading towards on the west side. That will continue. We're going to make an angled parking, and that will be essentially part of the parking strategy for the building. In order to make this work, we essentially just need to adjust the right of way by 0 point something. And the director can tell us the status of when we expect to have those numbers, usually the next week, if not sooner.
Yes. This is result of coordination between the building project and the Glendale Improvement Project, and what it does is allow us to leave the center line of Glendale where it is, which saves us a lot of money in terms of the construction of that road. So we could have accommodated it in the right of way, but it is less expensive to do it this way, to move the right of way line. And it makes it clearer for whose scope is whose. Right now, we're finalizing where exactly we want to move it to make the most sense to divide the scope between the two projects. So that's just some finalization conversations going on this month or this week, and then we'll have an exhibit that defines it in a typical engineering plat that you've seen before. So it would be, I'm going to say it's between 3 and 10 feet. I know that seems like a broad number, but it's whether the sidewalk is in or out of the right of way is the discussion right now.
And just to make sure that it's clear, this is all the property.
Right, it's all
city property. This is really just adjusting the right way now.
Questions? Is there a time constraint on this?
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead.
Request passage of mid-month in order to ensure that with the bidding package, this can be accurate.
Questions? All right, we will record that as first reading and assign it to recreation facilities. Now, on to item number 6.
Ordinance 2023-26, an ordinance to vacate a portion of previously unimproved right-of-way adjacent to McKinley-Field Park and to consolidate city-owned parcels for public park uses, including the construction of the new Parks and Recreation Facility and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor Kearns.
Well, similar issue here, with, it's all our property, but we're essentially taking, what's platted. I would like to call this the ghost of Fairview legislation. There's an old, right-of-way for Fairview Avenue, essentially in Field. And, in order to get utility service and everything to line up for the project, that's gotta be vacated. We don't anticipate Fairview Avenue running through there. We anticipate it will be and remain a park, and that's essentially the gist of it. And also similarly, passage is requested at mid-month, again, to let the project proceed post-haste.
Thank you. So do you need this passed at mid-month?
Please.
Thank you. Is there any discussion or questions? All right, we will record that as first reading, and then we'll sign that one to planning and administration. Next, new business item number 7.
Ordinance 2023-27, an ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Grandview Heights to enter into an agreement with the city of Columbus, Ohio for the provision of certain emergency dispatching services and making appropriations for this essential service and declaring an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor Kearns.
This was the 911 contract, and they have recently improved their service and invested, and we need to enter into a 911 contract. I think we verified there's not a deadline on this. They wanted us to pass this as soon as possible, but we believe that means our normal cycle can be on.
Thank you. Are there any questions for the mayor? All right, we will record that as a first reading, and we will assign that to safety. Next, we have other business.
We have a new liquor permit, request for D5 liquor permit number 0006573 for A&R Grandview LLC, 1291 Grandview Avenue, Grandview Heights, Ohio, 43212.
Thank you, Director Kazam. Would you like to give us a little update on it?
Sure. It appears that the space where Spagio Cellars formerly operated is seeking to have a separate liquor permit. We've reached out to the liquor attorney who's representing the owner of the business and look forward to hearing a little bit more about what the specifics of that are. This kind of caught our attention because there was an address discrepancy. It wasn't related to the existing address where the restaurant is operating currently. So I think for purposes of making sure to protect the applicant's rights, let's go ahead and do the 30-day extension with the department so that we have all of the information by the time of the next meeting.
All right, just to clarify, Spagio had two addresses, the bar and the restaurant, and now there are two addresses. There's currently a D5 something, and their request on is D5. Yeah, D51, D5I, something like that. So to clarify why they need two and what their intentions, correct? Yes. Are there any questions regarding this? Is there a motion?
Motion to allow the 30-day extension as described by the city attorney, so that we can seek clarification on the address before proceeding.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And the motion has passed. Next we have comments from council members. Are there any comments? Okay. Councilmember Houston?
Thank you. I missed the last council meeting. I was with my family, not in town, and wondered if I could get like a mini update on the energy alliances pertaining to the aggregation ballot issue. The contract with energy alliances, I think, was announced. I read in the minutes.
We are in the contract with them. We are currently working out dates. We would like to hold a couple of in-person open houses to answer the community's questions. So working on dates for those and working through with them, cover them, come back here and have some additional discussion. So we are currently just trying to finalize those things.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from council members? Okay, quiet one. Well, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.
The two boring.
My office is 5,
You guys.
7.